Hello, hello, hello. Yes, welcome to Looking for Love. How y'all doing? Welcome to another week of conversation where we bridge the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women to see where the misses are in our relationships. Why are we dating younger men and younger women or older men and older women? Why don't we have a connection as Generation X men and women? My name is Trey Kearney. I am your host and my co-host.
Lamar Hall.
And we are here not to bicker back and forth or to turn men against women or women against men, but to get understanding from a male and female perspective so that men can understand from me what women feel like. Not all women, but most women from my experiences, and what men feel like from not all men, but most men from Lamar's experiences. And usually when we say stuff, we'll get comments where it will be, yup, they're right, or nope, they're wrong. So this is what we encourage the women to do. When Lamar says, this is how men feel, and this is what men want, and this is what turns men off, and this is whatever Lamar says about men, speaking from a male perspective, or if he gives us an opinion about women, I want the women to look in the comments at the response that the men give. I do not want you to argue or try to pick apart what Lamar is saying. I just want you to listen to what the men are saying in the comments. So if it's all 90% of the men are saying yes, 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 then Lamar's on to something. And if they're not, then we can go back and forth in the comments and ask some of the men, why is your opinion different than Lamar's? And vice versa for the men. When I say something about how the women feel and how we feel about men and our opinions, I want you to go look at the women's comments to see if they agree with me or disagree, because we are actually, as Kevin Samuels would say, collecting data. And data doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. If it's 5 men here tonight watching us, and 5 of them say Lamar is right, the data is just saying Lamar is stating facts. So let's stick to that, because we are not here to argue like everybody else is doing. So welcome. Please put your comments in. We will be more than happy to answer your comments. So Lamar, how was your week?
It was good. It was good. How are you? How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. Life is good. It's April. We're in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're here in the storm, but April showers.
Yeah, but it's warm. It's warm in Texas now, so thankful for that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was out there 82 today.
I'm so jealous. Lord.
We only got about 40, 45, 60 more days, then it'll be 100 plus, and then
I take the 100. I love heat. I love the heat.
That's way too
So we're gonna talk. Should we bring up our video first, or should we do a question?
However you want to do it. You're the boss.
Okay, let's do. I like that. Let's do a question. Well, let me get my glasses because I can't see. I have twin daughters who will be 16 in August. When they were 9, I promised to take them to Paris when they turned 16. The problem is me and their mom got divorced when they were 12. Now that they are going to be 16, they are holding my feet to the fire to go to Paris as a family with my ex. I have been in a relationship for 2 years and they don't want her to go. They said a promise is a promise. My lady is furious because I'm even considering it. Who do I disappoint? Woo! I disappoint them kids. You better disappoint. I'm sorry. Kids, listen. Go ahead, Lamar. You have a daughter. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
I have a daughter, and I don't know if I would ever made a promise like that. I don't know. And I think he owes it to his daughters to sit down and say, listen, the intentions were this when I made that statement. The circumstances have changed. So we have to rethink them.
Right.
Now, what I would probably suggest is, as a father, you just take his daughters. Don't take your ex-wife, don't take your girlfriend. Just go and enjoy your daughters, and because this will probably be one of the last times that you do something with them like this. So
Mary Jane Monroe said, F them kids. I'm with her. Them kids don't know, seriously. I'm sorry, I'm with Mary Jane. Let me say this. Kim said, hi, Trey. Hi, Lamar. Hey, Kim. Let me say this. Them kids understand exactly what they do, right? Because kids are not dumb. They 16. They're going to be 16 in August, he said. Them kids ain't dumb. Them kids know most of the time when, and this is, I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time when there's a divorce, and it's only been 2 years since he's been with his lady. Most kids are hoping, praying, wishing that their parents are going to get back together. So their little evil scheme, and I'm not trying to, their little evil scheme is probably to get mom and dad in Paris at the Eiffel Tower, and their little, because kids' minds go where if we get them to Paris, he might propose at the Eiffel Tower, they'll fall in love. Listen, this would be my thing. I would tell my children, I did promise you that I would take you to Paris when you were 9, and they probably thought about that every birthday, like, oh, we're 10, oh, we're 11, we're going to Paris. If he has the money, I wouldn't want him to not uphold his promise, but I would be like, this is what it is. I will be more than happy to go to Paris and bring my lady. If y'all want to go, y'all ain't sleeping in a hotel room with me anywho, because y'all 16. And me and her will be in our room. And if y'all want your mom to go, I'm sure his lady probably wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't. If I talked to my man and he said, I promised my daughters at 9 that we would go to Paris as a family. We're still family, but my lady going. And if y'all got a problem with that, then I ain't going.
Well, the reason why I say it is that if you're dating somebody and it's only been 2 years, I don't know if they've met her already. It sounds like they have, which
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I would, my first thing would be like, let's talk about this. Let's act like it's happening today and not, almost 10 years ago. So let's do that. And I think it's a situation where no one goes but just the dad and the daughters.
No. Because see, that's the problem with y'all. See, let's talk about this really, because we talked a little bit about this last week, how really? I won't date a man with daughters. This why? Because they're very manipulative. I'm telling you. And the fathers are, I have a soft spot. I promise my daughters, and it's daddy's little girls. No, these is daddy's big girls. They understand exactly what they're doing. And if you don't nip it in the bud, and this woman that you're with for 2 years is going to be your wife, they're going to continue to treat her that way because you're setting the tone already. When they say, well, dad, she wasn't. No, this my lady. She going. We all going. And if she's not going, I'm not going. And when I do find a man and we get married, decide to get married, or even decide to be in a committed relationship, nobody comes between us. No man, no woman, no child. It's me and you until the wheels fall off, until we're not together anymore. This is why relationships don't last, because of outside influences. No, if you and your lady is together, I was about to say her name, but I don't know if she's comfortable. But if you and your lady are together, there should be nobody that comes between y'all unnecessarily. We're not talking about your kids are sick and dying in the hospital. Now, that's a different story. Like, I got to go to my babies, and I don't care what you're doing. But for a trip to Paris and y'all trying to get your mama to go, I'll cuss them kids out on my mama. That's why I'm like, I don't want to date no man with no daughters, because the next time.
You made a couple of good points there.
I definitely would not go with my ex, because the mama probably a problem too. She probably like, a promise is a promise, because she probably trying to go to Paris with him. Because
that's why I say I wouldn't take the ex-wife, but the original party still stand. I probably wouldn't take my girlfriend just because it was originally supposed to be just the 4 of us, but now one of us is no longer in the group, so we go on with the 3.
Nope. Originally, if you was my man, I'd be like, well, you go with your daughters, and when you get back, I won't be here, because what I'm not gonna put up with is every time your daughters feel like they want to remove me from the equation.
But I mean, what if you sat down and talked to him and kind of explained? He explained to you, he's like, listen, this isn't about you and me. This is about a promise I made. And
no, at the time, the situation was very different. I was with your mother. And you can explain to them just as you want to explain to your lady. These kids are 16. These are not little babies that don't understand. These kids are 16, and I tell you, they're going to be 18. And when their boyfriend says, put me before your daddy, I guarantee you, or your mama, the kid going to put their man or their woman before you. And you about to put your lady who you love and about to spend maybe the rest of your life with. And it's going to cause, he said, my girl is, they said, my lady is furious because I'm even considering it. You already got a problem with your lady that you want to be with, who is doing all the things that ladies do, and you about to blow that for these girls that's grown. They grown. They gonna be on their
Well, I
way.
mean, I look at it. I look at it as my daughter is not ever going to leave my side. You know,
Yes,
and
she will.
the woman I'm dating, they do come and go, but
Your daughter
I
will leave your side. Can I help you out there? Your daughter will
oh
leave.
I mean, you know what I mean. She's going to grow up and do what she needs, but I mean, I I don't know. That's a tough one for me, but I would sit down with both of them and explain it, you know, and there would be something healthier than what they have currently. But I understand you made some good points, but
Yes, I totally understand what you're saying, but this is why we have to have these conversations on these platforms, because this is the things that break up relationships with black men and Generation X black men and Generation X black women. Kids, grown kids that think that the father is supposed to pick them over their lady for whatever reason. And those kids will, you know, my situation with my older son right now, we have an estranged relationship, and I'm sure he'll be back in my life and I'll be back in his. But them kids will leave you, and your daughter will leave one day. And when her husband says, "No, I'm first," Dad, you're not going to be first. And if whatever promise she made to you, oh, Dad, I made you that promise when I was 9, or I made you that promise when I was 15. Me and my husband, trust me, y'all, as fathers, I want y'all to get together in a circle one day. Maybe you could head this off with some women, maybe a good moderator, to just talk about the disturbance that children cause fathers, especially, and not you, because you stayed in the house with your daughter, but a lot of fathers who were not present in the home with their daughters live on guilt, and they try to make sure the daughter knows, I love you more than anything. You can't be with a woman and make her feel like there's any sort of competition and that you love your daughter more than me. And I, because that's, we talked about this last, that's two different kinds of love.
yeah, yeah.
And never make me feel like I have to be on eggshells, because when your daughter comes along and says, but you promised, but this, but that. No, this my lady. This my wife. This my lady. This my lover. This my girl. I'm sorry, you gotta.
And listen, I know this situation all too well, so
Yes,
I won't go in depth in it, but I know it all too well.
I know you do, and I'm just saying, like, listen, I'm saying to the brother who asked the question, I would say your daughters, from my standpoint, that if you do this to your girl now, you're starting something that is going to be a problem in the long run.
I will agree with that. Is that you have to put your foot down. And I had a situation when I first got divorced, and I did put my foot down with my daughter, and I revisited the same situation a year or so later and put my foot down. And because I put my foot down, she took it. I mean, which I was kind of like, like, oh, okay. I could have did that in the first and avoided all the nonsense. So I would just tell them, just put your foot down. It's not going to feel good, but you don't want to disappoint your daughters. But, you know, to what you're saying is that's your woman. And if you see a future with her, I mean, you gotta put your foot down. You really do.
Yeah. Mary Jane said, if I was dating a man with daughters, love, I may suggest he and his daughters go alone. She said your suggestion.
Yeah, I think that's a decent compromise. But like you said, it just depends on.
Yeah, if you're
It could go either way.
ready, if you're, because your woman, she's probably furious because the kids said they didn't want her to go
Right.
for whatever reason. And again, please, men with children and women with children, when we have these conversations, let everybody be in a room so that it's clear that it's not, I don't want you to go, so she don't think that your daughters don't like her. Like, we don't want her to go because we don't like her, but your daughters don't want her to go because this promise was made when 9, so that the air is clear. Because now this woman has to deal with the fact that y'all didn't want me to go to Paris with y'all, so now there's some tension if the conversation is not clear, that the reason why we didn't want you to go is because we really wanted to go with our mother and father, because they promised us that when we turn 16, because now this woman is really going to feel some way about his children if this is not resolved the proper way. That's going to be a recipe for, because every time she see them, she's going to feel like, y'all didn't want me.
Yeah, you don't want me around.
Right. Y'all don't like me. And they probably have a relationship already if he's been with them for 2 years and these girls are 16. I'm sure he's doing his parental duties if they still think that at 16 we going to Paris and they could talk to him like that. He must still be in their life on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it sounds like he is.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I
So
mean, don't be making promises that far out. Shit.
right. That's another thing. Don't make promises to kids because them kids don't forget nothing.
Don't
Them
forget nothing, man.
you by your coattail and be like, you told us when we was 9, we was going to Paris when we turned 16. Because when they turned 10, they probably said 6 more years.
Yeah,
And then when they turned 12.
They're looking forward to it. So I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's a whole conversation that I would encourage them to have as a family with everybody present. So there's no, because women, if you don't talk to the kids in front of the woman, she has to imagine what you said. And when the kids don't respond in a certain way, it's like you didn't tell them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you telling me you told them that, but you didn't. But if you're with them and you hear him say that and the kid's still acting funny, it's really nothing he could do. It's like, I told them to stop the nonsense. That's on them. But if you're not there to hear it, you're thinking, you playing both sides of the fence, dude. You saying one thing to me and one thing to them. So I hope that he can sit down and keep his lady and not disappoint his daughters in some sort of way.
Just take a stance. You gotta stand on it. Whatever decision you make, you gotta stand on it. You gotta stand on it.
10 toes down. 10 toes, yes, because somebody is gonna be disappointed. But like you said, your kids is your kids. They might be mad for a week or so. Right. And even hey, she could come with us.
Right. Yeah, he may have to disappoint them kids.
Yeah, I would. If it was my boys and they said, hey, you said, I'll be like, yo, y'all gotta get out of here with that. Like, y'all not gonna tell me that I can't take my boo with me and you want me to take your father. And we can all go. And we gonna be in our room. Your mother gonna be, your father gonna be. We not doing this. Like, no.
I don't want to do that. I don't know why kids think that parents, when they divorce each other, they want to be around each other still. I just like.
Their hope is that, please God, let our parents be back together because they love their parents.
Well, why would you want that? They was miserable together. It's like, why would you want two people to be miserable together? I don't.
They don't want you to be miserable together. They want both of their parents together because of course they're not getting as much time with the dad or as much time with the mom. So it's hurtful for them because they don't have both parents at all times like they want to. So
I don't know very many people that grew up with both parents and they turned out like that is not a recipe for just, success. It's like, hey, it is what it is. People, I don't know very many parents that stayed together, definitely not at my age, but I don't know. It's just sign of the time. It is. It's tough.
It's hard. Yes. Ben, hold on. Y'all know I can't see. Let me see. Bam said it's hard being a step parent. Yes, it really is.
It is.
Hold on. One, she's married according to the scripture. No man put asunder. Hold on. But she'll come back around. You should hold on. Come on, sister. You're right. Thank you, Gregory. Because them kids gonna leave. Them kids is definitely gonna leave. So we're gonna go to our next question because I got a lot. We got a lot tonight.
All right, let's go.
I had an affair with my boss who kind of threatened to fire me if I didn't. My wife found out. She is demanding I leave the job. The problem is I've been there for 21 years and my retirement is at stake. She said my retirement or my marriage. What can I do?
Damn, you're serious. We go with all these serious ass questions, man. Yeah, I thought it would be lighthearted.
Hey, he should have took the L from the job. HR. Silver Bear said HR. Listen, he should have went and said sexual harassment before he slept with the boss.
Yeah, well, listen, we can say that is a half truth of what he told. So I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. I don't know very many men in this world that has been taken advantage of like that, been put in a position where you got to sleep with your boss. So I'm going to call BS on that one. So it's like he's probably been sleeping with her, whatever the case may be. And I don't know. I worked corporate a long time, and I haven't seen no stuff like that happening. But
You
anyway,
think
but
he's,
I
you think he gets
I
better?
I think he's stays with his job. Shit. I mean, I don't. I mean, I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing.
I would leave my job if my boss slept with me and I'm ready. When is he gonna retire? So shit, I
Well,
ain't
he
ready.
said he's been on a job for 21 years, so he don't got long.
Yeah. So it's like when she find out because she been dealing with it forever. How long we gonna deal with it for a couple of more years until I get this money and we can move on. Yeah, I'm like,
Listen, that's a hard one because how do you even sleep at night, or how do you function as the wife knowing that he's going to the job where a boss basically is he just if that's the case where he said he basically felt like he was going to get fired if he didn't, so you gonna have to keep sleeping with her because what is you gonna keep sleeping with her, or what you because that's
when's the
what I
last
was
time,
thinking.
when's the last time he did it? That would be my question. That would tell how they're dealing with the situation. If you tell me it was 4 years ago, then yeah, she's probably moved on. If you told me it happened 6 months ago or less, then you probably got a more serious situation than you are dealing with right now.
I would if I was the wife, I would go up to that job and go up in her mouth. No, wait. Let me bring that back. Let me bring that back. No, I was. I'm sorry. The hood came out. That was the ghetto LaQuisha that came out of me. But because I wouldn't want my husband to leave and his retirement is at stake. But I would be very uncomfortable knowing that he's going to a job with a woman that he was sleeping with who threatened to fire him. And I got a few more years to go. That's not, oh, I listen, I would say this like they said in the comments, they said HR, get you a lawyer. That's what I would do. I would sue the boss if it was true.
I don't think it's true though. I
Oh,
mean, I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I mean, I
why?
don't.
Why you don't believe that this man felt like if I don't do this, I'm going to lose my job? I'm serious. I'm asking that question
I
because
just listen.
I'm the wife asking you this question right
I
now.
know a lot of people that work corporate jobs, and just that scenario in itself is a weird scenario. And then for the roles to be reversed, I'm never gonna say it can't happen, but I don't know. That one seems a little far fetched. And like you said, if he's unwilling to go to HR to get them involved, then it means there's something else involved.
I got to say this, and I'm going to say this, and I mean this. Cheating is a deal breaker for me. Like, so as soon as I found out that he slept with, it ain't, you don't got to leave your job because you got to get out of my house. You got to go and roost with the rooster. And I wonder if the boss is married. That's the whole nother situation because you need to go to her house and live with her because I'm not, I'm done. So if that's not, clearly it's not a deal breaker for his wife. She wants to stay in the marriage because she wants him to leave. But for me, oh, you sleeping with her, you slept with somebody. For me, in my mind, you were
Yeah,
cheating with somebody
we
else.
we are discounting the fact that he did cheat. So oh, like I said, she's accepted the cheating.
Right.
Why you gonna draw the line there now? Now you're gonna
Oh,
affect the quality of life because you getting in the way of it.
that's
I would
what I'm
just say
saying. If you're
just
gonna say, okay, you just have to leave the job, then you should just expect for him to cheat
just
again.
deal with it. Just deal with it and get the pension and get out of there.
Right. And go up in her mouth, catch her in a parking lot, and be like, hey, let me tell you something. Let me handle this. I'll tell my husband, let me handle this. Hold up. Let me handle this. Let me go and see her. Let me know when she leave. Call me on my cell and let me know when she go into her car. I'm not gonna do any. I just want to have a conversation with her. I'll be like, if you ever, you will be in court so fast, and you will be so exposed that you sleep with these employees up in here. Now, let me tell you this. Let me find out that you said anything else to my husband because you are not gonna make us lose our pension.
I don't think that happened like that. But I mean, even you saying it more like that, I just don't. I've seen a lot of women in power, and they are very reserved. Not that it can't happen. Again, I'm not being naive, but I just I don't know. Some of these stories, I guess, it happens. It's true life out there, but I hadn't seen it. But good luck to him.
I'm just saying. Listen, hold on. Let me go to our next question, or should we pull up the video?
Yeah, let's see the video.
Okay, we're gonna go to the video, folks. This is a good one. Hold on, let me make the screen for us. Let me turn it up, make sure everybody can hear it.
Should there be a time frame that we, hold off giving our bodies away?
90 days, 90 days.
Are you 90 days? Okay, explain this.
Oh, let's talk about it.
90 days. This is your temple. And you got to be mindful of who you allow to worship in your temple. Everybody don't get to worship in the temple. And the reason I say 90 is because that gives you an opportunity to understand what this person is worshiping, how they worship, if it's good worship, who they worshiping with, and all of that. You understand? You get to talk, and for me, that's the time you get to find out what's your relationship with your mama. Because you can't treat me no better than you treat your mama. What's your relationship with your daddy? Because that's an example of what you are as a man or what you expect from men. Take that time, because once you introduce the madam into the process, everybody loses their mind. And then the madam, she's running the show. So and she's a liar.
She lies a lot.
She lies.
Who
she
lies?
said, you didn't hear that. Go ahead, just a little bit. Just give a little bit. It'll be all right. And then if it gets good, she gets and you have to shut her up.
So, she's so loud. I don't know how.
I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, listen, I'm too old to be playing these 90-day rules.
Mm.
So I look at it like this. I do agree in getting to learn and know somebody over a little bit of time. And we both can agree to whatever that time looks like. It doesn't have to be the first night I meet you, but I'm definitely not going to be like 90 days.
Yeah.
That's things you did when you were in high school and you're in your mid-20s and stuff like that. If you like somebody, you like them. Want to hang out with them, hang out with them. If you're physically attracted to them, then let it naturally happen. I don't think anybody or any man should go into it with any preconceived dates or anything like that, but let it be organic. It's okay. It's okay if you guys like each other and it happens in 3 weeks.
It's okay if it happened in an hour. Let me just say this as Generation X, because we talk about Gen X right now. We talking about people who are 40 and over right now. I don't believe in no 90-day rule or any of that stuff. I believe that as long as you can deal with the consequences of your actions, you could deal with the fact that if you sleep with this person in a week and they don't come back around and you okay with that, and you could do what you want to do. I don't believe in making somebody wait 90 days because you think you're going to learn something. You're not going to learn much about nobody in 90 days. I hate to tell everybody that's listening right now, people pretend well. A woman and a man will pretend for 90 days that I cook, I clean, I swing from the chandeliers until they get you. So whether you wait 9 days or 90 days, that real person is going to show up at some point, and you might wait 90 days. And after the 91st day and you sleep with him, he might never call you. And you done waited 90 days of wasting your time on somebody that just wanted the cookie anyway. So if I give it to you in 30 days, I'm not wasting another 60, because once you're going to show me who you are, and you might show me in 90 days that you're a piece of shit. Excuse me, Lord. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is waiting 90 days is no different really than waiting 9 days, unless it's based on your morals and your values. But plenty of people slept together the first night and they got married, and they've been married for 30 years.
It really goes back to what we talk about all the time, is that be like you said, be okay with your decisions. If you're okay with the decisions, you don't have to answer to anybody. You're grown. So that's first and foremost. It's just like, and that's what I'm saying. The older we get, the quicker these decisions we have to start making. And you got to be
Yeah.
You don't have time to play, and
Like
it's
I
like,
said to you last week, you think you're gonna sleep with me, then you want to get married. If you ready for the cookie, then you ready for the ring. No, like you know me good enough that you want to hop in the bed. So let's go down to the courthouse. I'm cool with that. You like me like that. I like you like that.
not
But
me. I'm not test driving cars.
right, ain't nobody test driving me no more.
I
So
ain't getting married if we ain't doing that, because it's just, I don't know, that's something I'm not doing it. It's
and
like,
then she said too, the thing that she said, you can't treat your mama right. Then the way that a man treats a woman. I know men who don't have relationship with their mother that treat their wives like gold because they had no control over the relationship that they had with their mother, whether their mother was on drugs or whether their mother gave them to the grandmother or whether their mother had them at 16. The way a man treats his mother doesn't have anything to do with the way that he's going to treat you. And I hate to say this, it does have an effect on his relationships, but you can never judge a man by the way that his relationship is with his mother. One, if you don't have the backstory, because there are a lot of men who were hurt by their mother, who had to put distance between their mothers. And there's a lot of men who are close to their mothers, who are mama's boys because they played the daddy in the house when the dad, and you thinking, oh, he's so good to his mother. And then you only get into the relationship to find out he better to his mother than he'll ever be to you. And you second to his mama. So don't look at no man talking about, I need to see how you treat your mama, because you will be deceived and misled. I promise you.
well, that's old school type of thinking. And again, I don't think any of that works in this day and age. That whole mentality is outdated in the dating world. Now, can it work? Absolutely, but it's going to require you digging through a lot of hay looking for a needle, and it's just not the way of the world anymore. And it's sad to say, and I think that there is a portion of us, Generation X, that still remembers it, still thinks that it should be that way, but it's just not. It's just really not. And it's sad. And and for those of y'all who have never dated, like under the age of 30 or anything like that, it's way worse.
Right.
It's way worse. So I mean, we're going to see how bad this is going to get over the next, 5, 10 years and stuff like that. But the whole value system is bad, and it's just the way young women talk sounds like men, and it's the music, it's just the culture. It's not feminine at all. And I sound like an old man saying it all the time, but it's just like,
no, you really don't sound like an old man. You really don't. You sound like a decent man who wants a decent woman that acts like a woman. And what's going on now is that women are not acting like women. And all of these rules, I always gotta say, one key don't open all doors. So how you and your girl maneuver and how me and my man maneuver is totally different for what's going to work for y'all and what's going to work for us. So 90 days might work for you. And Christians, waiting till marriage, it depends on who you are as a person. And again, her saying you better wait 90 days because this is your temple and blah, blah, blah. If that's the case, then you shouldn't be doing anything with anybody if that's your temple until they make a commitment to you. So you're going to sleep with somebody because you gave them 90 days, but they're still not committed to you. So you're not even thinking about the commitment part of, I want to be committed to you. You're not thinking about the part of, I want to be monogamous with you. You didn't mention any of those. Then you just said in 90 days, you get to know this person and then you give them the cookie. Like, what if this person don't owe you no commitment? Like, you just, okay, we waited 90 days. We like each other. What's the difference in 90 days and 9 days if there's no commitment and there's no future plan? Or you don't even talk about where we're going with this. Are we getting married? How many people you sleeping with? Is it just you and me? You just basically say in 90 days, if he's still around, give him some booty. No, I'm not going to give him no booty in 90 days just because he waited. Like, that's a reward.
And most of us ain't waiting 90 days. So that ain't, no. I mean, the men that most women are after are not, especially at this age. They're not 90 days. No.
So you don't think a man will wait 90 days?
If he's over the age of 40, 45?
Right.
No.
I think a man will wait 90 days, but I am going to say this. I think that if he wait in 90 days, then he getting it from somewhere else.
Of course. Somebody's getting it in this 90 days, and he's just going to he'll turn it off with them as it gets close to your 90 days. But that's what I'm saying. That's why that whole scenario doesn't work. You know, it's like, wow, why are you doing that? It makes no sense. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with you first night. Okay, cool. We can agree to disagree. You know, after I'm kicking it with you a couple of weekends, hey, we should be moving in that realm. So
right. And again, like I said, I really think as older people, we could say older, not old, but older people, older, more seasoned, we have more wisdom, more knowledge. We know what we want. We know where we're going. I just think it's an individual choice that as long as you're willing, and I'm speaking to the women right now, as long as you're willing to not be mad if you give it up in a day, or if you give it up in 2 weeks, or if you give it up in 30 days, and it doesn't work out the way you want it to work out, do it when you want to, but it still may not work out for you in 90 days. That's my point. So unless you decided that as a Christian, or even as just a woman who I want to do something different, so I want to wait till I get married, and you put that on the table for the man to be honest, to say, hey, I'm not doing anything with anybody until I get married. I've decided for myself that I've slept with enough people, or whatever your thing is, but to be honest with that man and not have somebody testing them to see if they're going to stick around for 90 days to prove a point, like somebody said in here, to prove a point that, oh, it's been 90 days, so you waited, so you must really like me. No, I really like your body, and I really wanted to see what it was like to be inside of you. And now that I found out that it ain't that good, I'm not going to call you no more because, hey, I waited, but thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, the 90 days, I don't know. That's that trial era, you know, the free trial era. So I don't know.
I don't like the date. I don't even like the concept of I don't like anybody to come into my presence testing me in any kind of way, like you said, like a game. I don't like that. You could be upfront with me and say, hey, Trey, I'm not doing nothing with you for 90 days because I feel like I want to see. I could respect that if you tell me, but if we playing a game and I don't know, we haven't had a conversation about how we moving forward, like you just playing and I'm going to play you. And most people that do that, most women, I'm pretty sure if we asked women who waited 90 days, you still not with that person. So what was the 90-day wait for?
I mean, I've been told that, you know, oh, I have a time limit, this and that. I mean,
and they didn't wait?
No. I mean, I didn't make it the focal point of it. It wasn't like, oh, you need to wait 90 days. And they're like, hey, it was just that I'm not going to jump in bed quick. Okay, cool. You know, it's like I've made it about the friendship on certain occasions, you know, and I mean, those relationships still didn't work out. So it doesn't.
Right. And I said that before too. Let me be honest. I did tell somebody, you know, it didn't last long. I was like, ain't nobody, we ain't rushing, and it wasn't that long after that we was doing it. And I was just like, I'm not gonna be jumping in bed. You gonna have this ain't no free for all. But soon after, like I'm not saying the next day, but it wasn't even 30 days. It was like it just happened because we was
just happened, and that's the what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to go into it and it's supposed to happen organically. It's supposed to be fun, you know, just like don't put any pressure on anybody. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. I try to, you know, you know, dating and stuff, I try to even make that a part of the conversation. You know, I don't even bring up sex and stuff like that. You know, it's like, you know, women will do it later. If you have late night phone conversations after 10 o'clock, if you're talking to them, women tend to get a little saucy after 10.
Oh.
You know, so the conversation they change a little bit, but you know,
after 10, ladies, we don't realize we're being saucy after 10. He just told us.
No, they do after 10 o'clock. The conversations have a better chance of getting a little racy. You know, so y'all both laying there in bed talking,
and that stuff come up. Mary,
look, questions come up, little things. So,
well, you want to talk about those things. You know, you want to talk about those things sooner than later, but putting pressure on people to, 90 days, this and that, that just makes the relationship strained and makes a person want to run off. That's what I believe. Somebody said that's that Henny. Yep, or the Patron. You can't be you can't be drinking and talking, and that'll get you in trouble. Like that's You're
gonna do bad anyway. You just need a reason. You can blame it on the alcohol. That's okay.
Yeah, the courage, the liquid courage. That liquid you have you in some trouble. Go on a date. When you go on your first date, just drink coffee. When you go on your third date, drink coffee. Don't go nowhere with no drinks, because alcohol impairs your ability to make decisions. Not only to drive, but to make decisions.
We're doing shots straight off the rip.
Oh no, we not.
I want to know what you're about.
Oh no, Mary Jane said 90 days is too long to find out we don't mesh physically. Wow. Ooh,
yeah. I think 30 days is probably the max, depending on the age you are. You tend to be a little bit more reserved when you're younger, but over the age of 40. Man, listen, especially, and then, okay, so I'm trying not to stay in this topic. So if you have children or you've been married multiple times and things of that nature, men are just kind of looking like, well, why are you picking me to want to be, all good with?
Why are you picking me to be all church?
Yeah, why are you trying to be picking me to be all good with? And every situation is different, but there's some women that think that they can reverse, their number of partners because they put some time in between. It's like, no, the door has been swung open X amount of times. You can't take them back because you don't use the door anymore. So, you can't wipe away. You can't wipe away what you've done. It is what it is.
Before, we've grown and we've learned that, again, however you value your body after you get a certain age is different than when you were younger, when you thought that sleeping with a man would keep a man. Because a lot of us thought not only sleeping with a man would keep a man, but a lot of us thought having a baby with a man would keep a man. So a lot of us have children by men who we thought if we had a baby, we would keep him. Or if we slept with him, if I don't sleep with him, he's going to leave me. Only to find out really in our life right now at this age, we know even if I sleep with you, you might leave me. So I'm not going to make the decision the decision making is different. I'm not going to make a decision to sleep with somebody because I think that they're going to leave me, as I would when I was younger. I'd be like, well, if I don't do it, somebody else will, so I better. But now it's like, hey, if that's the case, then go get somebody else to do it. If that's the only reason, if you leave me because I'm saying I don't want to sleep with you right now, then be on your way. But the difference is we've grown, and some of us were very promiscuous. Not me, because I really wasn't.
Yeah, disclaimer, not me.
I was in long-term relationships, not because I was a goody two-shoes, because I was still doing it on a regular basis. It's just that I was in long-term relationships. But there were a lot of women who were promiscuous, who were sleeping with multiple men, who are now mature and they value their body different because they've done the work. They've gone to therapy. They've talked to a counselor. They've got past the things that had them doing the things that made them think that their value was in their vagina. Because a lot of us did. We really thought that our power was in our vagina until we found out it wasn't. Of course,
when do women realize they don't have power in their vagina anymore? What has to happen?
When a few men leave you after you give them some booty, and they like, it's with the P word out here all over the place. So you think you're keeping me here, like you said before, like. I don't give my life force to everybody either. So when men get to a certain age, like you said, that doesn't control me anymore. That's when we realize as women that, oops, I thought the power was there. And like you've been teaching us and the men been teaching us and agreeing with you that men are looking for something different other than just vagina. It's not just the vagina. It's the, let me lay my head in your lap. It's the, when I come home from work, it's a safe space for me to be. You trust me. I could trust my feelings with you. We're learning now that it's a different thing. So we're figuring out, not these young women. This is why the young women are getting dogged out, because they think that the power's in the vagina when these rich men, these high power men, or these whatever you want to call them, have the money to have a brothel of women, you're just getting used and you're just getting the purse. Or you just get used and you just get some bundles and you get some shoes and some eyelashes. You just the thing for the moment. So they got to learn that, but we've learned now. So that's why it's like a longer period for some of us to wait on sleeping with somebody. Because for us, it's like, I'll sleep with him, he still might leave me. Like, so the power's not there.
Well, I think that if you vibe with somebody, depending on the circumstances and the situation, whether there's a relationship or not, two people should be able to be adult and have a relationship, friendship, whether it leads to being physical or not. Is just have these conversations in the beginning so that the expectations are set. You know, if you're going through this and you're saying, hey, I really want to have this type of experience and I don't want it to be physical first, you know, you have to give a man some hope. You just can't come out the gate being like, yo, I don't do this and I don't do this and I don't do this. He'll leave skid marks. He'll be out. So it's just, you have to reassure him and say, listen, I'm looking for something meaningful. And if you're not looking for anything meaningful, then let me go. And, you know, and women have to start really being talking to men like that. It's like, listen, if your intentions are not good, then just save me the drama. Cut me loose.
But
you know, and
said, if you're not looking for something meaningful, let me write that down. That was good.
Yeah, and is that, and that's what I'm saying. It's really cool to just sit down with somebody and ask them, what do you see yourself doing right now at this point? And let's say, like I said, I've met women that have had children, been married a couple of times, and the conversation that always blows my mind is like, what are you really looking for? And they're so used to, oh, I want what I had 20 years ago. But 20 years ago doesn't exist anymore.
Wow.
So today, given what you want, given the situation, what do you want? What is your life looking for? In most cases, most women don't really know, because if you have a career, if you are a mother, you have, you know, people that you're responsible for that are under the age of 14. Now take those three things. How much time can you really give a man?
Ooh.
So you say, oh, you want us to be in a full-fledged relationship, but you got obligations, and it gets greater the more children you have. And it's like, what we're supposed to see one time a week, twice a week? You know, I want to be with a woman that can come over and just lay with me all day. You know, just like, you know, it's like, oh, you didn't expect to stay? Cool. All right. You know, so that you got to be grown. So, I mean,
I respect that. And women, we have to respect that. And we have to respect that, both men and women, that people get to have their preferences. Like, some men want, and we just have to have these conversations. Some men want a woman that could just jump on a plane with him. And if you have 2 kids, or if you have a child, I have a child that has special needs. So if a man wants to be jet setting and jumping on planes, I already know that's not the man for me, because I would never want to hold him up. And I'm not mad at somebody who doesn't want to deal with a special needs child, because it's a hard situation and people get to decide. Or if a man doesn't want to deal with a woman with multiple kids, or a woman doesn't want to deal with a man with a special needs child or multiple baby mamas, everybody gets to have their preference. And people get antsy or mad because it's like, oh, you judging, and this is my situation. Yeah, that's your situation, and I get to decide for myself that I don't want to deal with that. Or if a man has baby mama drama, you know, it's like, I don't want to deal with that. So when you get that rectified, and if it's like yourself, you know, your daughter's grown, and you could get on the plane right now. You could just get up in the morning and be like,
I could be gone in the morning.
I'm gonna call my lady and be like, hey, we gotta fly, you know. And if you got a woman that got 3 kids that she got to take to school in the morning,
I had to take that into consideration, and that was what it had really required me. Like, what is the lifestyle you want to live? How do you want your daily weekends to look like? And it wasn't being at basketball games or t-ball games and doing it. It wasn't. It just really wasn't. I had to really come to grips with that and go like, that is not what I want my weekends to look like. I don't want my Friday nights to be like, hey, we got to go to a basketball game because, you know, 12-year-old Johnny is playing. Not me. I done played basketball. I done did enough of that.
And again, I get it, but this is, if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel. I'm your host, Trey Kearney. This is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
and we talk about Generation X dating, Generation X love, Generation X situations, and we're trying to bridge the gap between Generation X men and women without all of the pointing fingers and tearing each other apart and not wanting to be together. We're trying to bring unity into the Generation X dating pool, and it really takes hard conversations with no judgment. So again, we were just talking about preferences. I don't even know how we went there, but it was good. We were talking about preferences because people get mad when you have a preference. Like I don't like heavy women, or I don't like skinny men. Like if you don't like a skinny man, you like a man with some meat on his bones. You like a teddy bear. You get to say that, and people get mad. Like we get to decide what we want. So we have another question and another video.
Okay.
You want to put your video?
Yep. Let's whatever you choose, whatever you want.
Okay, we'll do your video.
Oh, it's my video. Okay.
Yeah, it was video you sent me. I want to be fair about the videos.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
Healed, you don't need them anymore. Why do you marketplace is broken black women. That is the marketplace. And the marketplace is broken black women. That is the marketplace. And if they can keep giving you content that's going to speak to your brokenness, you'll never need to get healed. And if you get healed, you don't need them anymore.
Why do you? Wait, back up. Did you say there's the marketplace is broken black women? That's what he said.
Yeah.
Let me jump in first because I'm glad you sent me that. First of all, he's absolutely 100% correct. The marketplace is broken black women because it sells from the men who are panderers. These men are coming on telling us what we want to hear. They didn't hear him. All they heard was the marketplace is broken black women. They didn't even give the brother a chance to explain what he meant. They were so busy listening to respond instead of to learn. We are here on this platform because we don't want pandering. We don't want black men telling us what we want to hear, so we stay broken. We want black men like Lamar to tell us the truth, so we don't stay broken, and there is no marketplace for broken black women. Because the truth is there's millions of people watching men who cater to broken black women and tell them what they want to hear. They didn't even listen to him to understand what he was saying. They just jumped on him like, oh, the marketplace is for broken black women. Yeah, the marketplace is for broken black women because we are here buying from Steve Harvey, act like a man, think like a woman, act like a woman, think like a man, whatever that is. We're listening to these men telling us what we want to hear. Men should do this for you and men should do that for you. And we're not listening to men like Lamar saying, men need a feminine place to land. And you really need to take off the crown, king, when you come to the castle and walk in the door and be the queen that you are. I get it. Outside the house, we have to be the king. But once we cross that threshold, you can't get a man that's treating you soft and nice if you're not soft and nice. And then you listening to these men telling you, he's supposed to treat you like this and he's supposed to treat you like that. But you're not nice. You're a B every day when you come home. So they really went in, but give me your take on that.
I feel sorry that black women are carrying the brunt of this because I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and feminism was perpetuated through women to make you guys, for one reason only, is to create dual income in households. So we can tax more, and now let's feed some of these women this idea that you need to have your own, you need to do your own, and all of that was taken away, and it wasn't necessary. But women took that, ran with it. They want to be equal as men, and it's like, why? Why do you want to be equal to a man? You know, and I don't want to make anything spiritual or biblical or anything like that. Is that, but a woman came from a man. A woman came from a man's rib. So in essence, why do you want to be the man now? It's like you were a part of me. You came from my rib. You're supposed to be the helper. We're supposed to build together. And I don't understand why. And it's no other race of women that are really trying to scream this message other than black women. And I don't understand why the race of black women are the only women that are running around screaming, I don't need a man. I'm a boss. I can do bad all by myself. And you don't see women on social media of any other race doing that other than black women. And I don't understand why. It just really, it's baffling to me, you know, and it gets worse the younger you go. And it's like, I can't imagine being 25 years old trying to look for a wife now.
Hmm.
Any young man under the age of 40 should be doing nothing but going get his hustle on, get financially literate, save some money, and get in the gym. That's it. This storm of this nonsense will pass, and just go have fun right now. Make yourself interesting. Become intriguing, because women want to hear stories from intriguing men. That's why I believe in you should date younger a little bit. A man, Malcolm X said it. The perfect age for a man is half the man's age plus 7. That's the age of the man. So for me, I'm 52, half of 52, 27 plus 7, 35, something like that.
I don't think you should be with a 35-year-old person.
I'm not. I'm with a 41-year-old. But
Right.
She's not the average 41-year-old though. I mean, her mentality with 41 is way different. You know, and again, I'm not easy to put up with. And the third thing is that she listens. That's the whole key, is that she listens more than anything. And like I said, I've dealt with a lot of women, and she's listening. She's intrigued. She wants to talk things through, and she wants to learn. And I think that dynamic is what makes us friends first, and then it makes the relationship better. It's just that we can. We weren't together always, and she went and dated somebody else, and that's the first thing she came back and told me. She was like, I didn't learn anything. You know, she's like, well, I didn't learn anything from him. You know, like it's like I need to be taught stuff.
Right.
I mean, that's big of her. That's big of her to say. You know, like.
Yes, I think that we're just in a society now where, again, that's why we're here on this platform, where there's a lot of pandering going on from women who want men to agree with them. Like there's women who are standing up for men, and I advocate for Black men from a different perspective, right? I hold men and women accountable for their messiness, right? I think that we all should be the best, highest version of ourselves. But there are women out here who put videos up that say the stuff that men want to hear, right? They clearly say what men, you want to be feminine here. Here's the A to Z on how to get a man. And they say everything that a man wants to hear. So men are not really learning from those women. They're just hearing what they want to hear. And then there's men who are telling women what they want to hear, right? So nobody's learning or growing, because this is all about really personal growth and development. This is really about individuals being the best version of themselves coming into relationships, not thinking about men should be doing this and women should be doing this. But as a person, Lamar, you should be a good person to the woman that you're with. And as a person, Trey, you should be a good person at all times and to the person that you're with. And we're missing the point of we should be good people as individuals, and no matter what the other person is doing, we should not feed into that. And if that person is not being the best, highest version of themselves, and it brings you lower to where you have to act out a certain way and you have to do certain things, you just shouldn't be with that person, and you should move on to the next person. Like you said, my lady listens, she wants to learn, and if she wasn't being the best version of herself, then that you shouldn't stay with her if she brings you down, or you're like, you don't listen. Right. You in here talking about you're a boss. You're screaming through the house. You're coming home late. You're doing it. Yeah. Then that's a point of don't let her bring you down to that level. You got to remove yourself from that situation if that person is not willing to do better. And we just going back and forth on these internet streets saying men should be doing this, rah, 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 and women should be doing that, instead of saying, yo, what are you doing to work on yourself? And I put up a post the other day, Lamar, and a really good friend of mine, he inboxed me. And he said, wow, that was powerful. And I said, ask yourself this question. What is it like being on the receiving end of you?
I saw that when you posted.
And he said, wow. And then his wife followed me. So I know they had a good conversation about, wow, babe, what is it like being on the receiving end of me every day? And we so busy, like, what am I getting? And who, you know what I'm saying? Instead of thinking about, what the hell am I giving every day when I walk in my house, or every day when I walk in my job, or when my kids got to deal with me? What is it like being on the receiving end of me? And I think for us, really why I like talking to you and being on the platform with you is because we actually did work on ourselves. And we ain't right all the time by far. We say some crazy stuff sometimes, and I look back and I'll be like, ooh. But our point is we're working on ourselves to grow a little bit more, to look at ourselves and say, what is it like being on the receiving end of you, Trey? Because sometimes I'm not a nice person. And I got to watch myself.
I know I'm difficult. I mean, I've heard that throughout my marriage and things like that. But the funny thing about it is that the things that were the worst things when I was married, I never hear about them. I haven't heard them since I've been single or not divorced. It's crazy. The things that, oh, you're this, you're this. I'm like, none of it.
But you worked on yourself.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was even true at that point. You know, it's like if somebody never calls you a jerk, you know, but you know, my ex-wife would call me jerk all the time. But I lacked confidence. I was, you know, I wasn't the life of the party. I was very shy as a kid. And that energy, I just didn't know how to start conversations. Then when I started a sales position, I had to learn how to talk to people. Now the confidence comes a little bit. I can carry conversations. I can talk to people a lot better.
But you're different.
I'm very different. I'm very different.
Like the cycle. And again, we have to give people grace, and especially men, because we always give women grace and say, you know, she was younger, she didn't know any better, but we don't give men that same grace. And we have to give men that grace that along this journey, they evolve. Even if you never went to a therapist, even if you never went to coaching or anything, as you're growing, you know, as you're getting older, you learn. As you got into a sales position, there's some things that shifted in you because they had to shift in you, not because you said, I got to go take this class on sales and I got to take this class on being. You had to step up because you wanted to have a career. So you had to learn some things, but sometimes the people who were in our path when they knew us a different way, they can't let go of the perception of who we used to be. And it's like, hey, you don't see that I've grown? Like, and that's the worst person to be with. And I'm not even talking about just marriage or relationships. That's the worst people to be around who don't acknowledge your growth. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't do that no more. Like, you don't see me. So
hey, I got an event coming up in a little less than 6 weeks. My daughter graduates. And my ex-wife is about to be in her ear at this graduation party. So it's gonna be interesting. I told her, I said, you ready? She's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay. So we'll see. So
because she know a different Lamar. And
way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
And so many people like your ex-wife that's stuck in a moment. Like stuck in I call it being stuck in a moment. Like experiences, and I was talking to this to my ladies in my group, and I teach this all the time in my talk. Like experiences were not meant to mold us; they were to grow us and teach us. And so many of us, we have aunts and uncles who ain't speaking to each other for 10 years because they got stuck in a moment. So you know, we have exes that look at us a certain way, like, "Yo, dude, you knew me when I was 25. I'm 54. Like, what are you talking? You still talking to me like?"
Right. That's a
baby. Like
that sounds crazy to even say something like that. It's like, yeah, you knew me at a certain point in my life, but like, come on, man, it's been.
You're stuck there.
Yeah.
Don't stick me with you. Like you want to live, and I tell people too, if you want to live in my past, that's your business. But you ain't gonna keep me there. You want to live there? You want to be living with the old me? You ain't gonna be in the future. You ain't gonna be in the present or the future with me because I'm gonna put some distance between us. And of course, if we have kids with a person, there's always going to be that connection. But what you're not going to do is make me live in the past because you feel like you want to stay there because you stuck on stupid. That's your business. But you ain't going to sit here and ridicule me and talk like we still 25 or we still 30. We 20 years past that road.
Way past that. I'm dealing with that over this weekend. It's just, I don't know. It's like I'm not 25 anymore. Like, come on now. We're way past that.
Get your whole entire life together. Like I just put space and distance between people who have no growth. And it's like, even with family, like not to cut them off or anything, but it's like a different conversation when I see them. It's like hi, bye, it's short conversations. We don't go into the deep because you know how families like to talk about, remember when Bubba? It's like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the fight. I don't want to know about that. I'm trying to get past that. I done been to therapy. and you still coach. I mean, you still talking about that. I'd have been to coaching, and you still talking about that. And you're most of the time, we're going to therapy to work on ourselves for people who don't want to change. It's like, you need to be in therapy.
And they never do. They never acknowledge it. I was like, oh, it was like, I told Mac's wife, I said, you should go to therapy. No, I'm fine. You need to go to therapy. I've been. I already went. You know, it's like I went for 8 months. Like, what are you talking about? Once a week, 8 months. But you're healed. You ain't done nothing.
Right. Yes, I know. It's crazy, but that's what it is. Got our time. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you just tuned in, this is Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about love, marriage, dating, divorce, everything, what you need to do to be happy, to remain sane in healthy relationships by just being the best, highest version of yourself. Lamar, what's your final thought for tonight?
Final thoughts tonight. I don't know. I'm so big on self-improvement. Self-improvement, guys. You know, just work on do you really know what's going to make you happy? What's going to bring some peace into your life? And what steps are you taking to walk towards that? Because once you find that type of peace, it's amazing. You know, and I tell anybody, if you feel like you're stuck, just don't stand still. Keep moving forward. Take those steps. Challenge yourself. You know, meditate. Work on your emotional, mindset. Therapy. It's there to be had. There's happiness and peace out there for you if you're willing to do the work.
Oh, that's right. And I love that, because that's why we're here, right? Not to give no back and forth about people, but to say, be the best version of yourself. Work on you. It is so important to be an individual and think for yourself. There's a lot of noise out here in this world. There's a lot going on social media. There's a lot of misconceptions about Black men and Black women. You really have to be yourself and treat everybody as an individual. Treat every man that you meet, ladies. I want to say this to us. Treat every man that you meet as an individual, not based on the experiences that you had with the last dude, and vice versa for men. Treat every woman as an individual and not based on the relationships that you had with the women that you had or your mother. Really just get to know a person and make sure that you're healthy. Because healthy people don't stick around toxic people. I hate to say that, because I'm sorry, but no. So, thank y'all for tuning in. We will be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. If you have any questions that you would like us to talk about or any topics, you can shoot us an email at info@TreyKearney.com, or you can DM me. I'm at Trey Kearney on Instagram, and I'm at Trey Kearney 26 on TikTok, and Lamar is
MAR_T_Hall13 in Instagram.
On Instagram. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free, brothers. If you feel more comfortable sending your question to Lamar, he'll be happy to read it. And we'll be happy to move forward. So thank you all again, and we will see y'all next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel for Looking for Love. Good night.
Night.